Hi, I'm Julie Brown, and in this video I'm going to share with you how to use social media to sell your services or products. Firstly, if you're enjoying my videos and finding them useful, then I would love you to subscribe. It means a lot when you do. Thank you. So I think we'd all agree that social media is such a great tool for business owners. It's such a fantastic place to engage and interact with people, and yes, of course, sell your products too. The problem we have as business owners, though, is to decide how often you can sell on social media without really annoying people, annoying your customers and your clients. You don't want to be doing that. So overdo it, and that's exactly what will happen. If you're just selling and nothing else, then people will get fed up of that and probably disappear off your radar. Of course, that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. We are business owners trying to sell our products and services after all, and that's what we're using social media for. But you just have to do it sensibly. Now, I know everybody will be a little bit different with this, but I use as a minimum the 1 in 5 rule. So that basically means if I'm posting on social media 5 days a week, then one of those posts should be around selling something. Now, when I say selling something, it doesn't have to mean something that's being paid for. It could be your lead magnet, your freebie, or any other free offer you've got, or a workshop that you're creating, that sort of thing, where they need to come to you to do something, come and interact with your webinar or interact with your freebie. That is selling. It's not just about selling your online courses or your coaching programs, for instance. So I use that rule. So roughly for every 5 posts I do, one of those will be some sort of sell. Not a hard sell every time, like I say, not always, give me your money, this is what I'm going to do for you. It could be much softer than that, but it is about getting something into their hands. Now, I would say you shouldn't do selling any more than that, but some people would say a 1 in 10 rule. So for every 10 social media posts you make, one of those should be selling. And I think that's really down to you and your audience and what you know they will accommodate. You know your audience best. You know how they are, how pernickety they can be, how angry they can get with you, depending on what audience you've got. So it's sometimes worth just testing a few of these out, try once every 5 days, once every 10, and see what response you get, which gets you the best engagement, which sells you the most, or gets most people signed up to your freebie, whatever it is that you're asking them to do. One of the key things when you're using your social media posts to sell something for you is to still tell a story. Social media is a social platform, the clue's in the title, and people want to read stories, get embroiled in something, feel some sort of emotion. So when you're selling your products, your services, trying to get them to sign up to a freebie, then still engage them with a story before you do the sell. So the stories are all leading up to that moment when you sell. I've got a great program for you, I've got a masterclass coming up I think you'd like to be involved with. Still do the storytelling before you get to that point, because you'll have people engaged then, people will love it. You're still giving them something useful, even though in the end you are trying to sell them something. So storytelling is still key when it comes to your selling posts. So you might be thinking now, well, what do I do for the other 4 days or other 9 days, whatever rule you're using? Then that's when you do the engaging, inspiring, educating, telling stories, sharing a little bit about yourself, getting the clients or the potential clients to feel good about you, know that you're there to give value and support and work with them. You're not just there to make them part with their money or their email address. You are giving them something in return. More often than not, that's what you're doing. And then when you do put a post on there that's selling them something, you've earned that right. You've given them a lot. And it's time for them to buy something from you or to interact with you in a different way. We're not here because we're running a hobby. We are running a business and we have to sell stuff to do that. So don't feel bad about it. Don't feel icky. Just think to yourself, I've earned this. I've given you tons of value in the last 4 days. Now I'm going to offer you something that I'm going to want something for in return. Now, one of the questions I get asked is, how much time should I spend on social media doing all of this stuff? Well, I think for most people it differs depending on what you're doing, what business you're running, who your audience are, how they react to you when you post more often or less often. You've got to do a little bit of research really to decide on that for yourself. However, everybody likes a good fact, and I've got some facts. I'm going to have to look at them because otherwise I will forget. So some research has been done recently, and it showed that 43% of business owners, so that's just under half, are spending 6 hours a week on social media. So that's 1 hour and 12 minutes per day, which actually sounds reasonable to me. I think if you're running a business and you're not spending that amount of time on social media, and I'm including LinkedIn in that as well as Instagram and Pinterest and Twitter and all the places that you want to be. It doesn't seem that long if you're going to be doing a good job of it and planning the content and writing it well and giving yourself time to reread it to make sure that it's as good as you want it to be. 6 hours a week doesn't actually seem that much. But there are people doing more. So 25% of business owners are spending between 6 and 10 hours a week on social media. 11% are spending between 11 and 12 hours a week on social media. And then 7% are spending 21 hours or more. Now that is a lot of time. If you're only working or trying to only work 5 days a week, 21 hours is a lot. Well, 21 plus hours is a lot on social media. So perhaps we won't go there. But I guess on an average week, I probably do spend 6 hours on social media in total. So planning it, writing it, uploading it. I don't use a scheduler at the moment. I may do in the future and have done in the past, but at the moment I'm not. I'm either scheduling on Facebook within the Facebook page itself because they like that, or I'm doing everything organically as I need to, the time that I need to do it. I'm not sort of scheduling everything in advance. So 6 hours a week for me is manageable. So you need to think about that. How long do you want to spend on social media and what is reasonable for the business that you run? One of the other questions I get asked quite a bit is how many times should you post on one platform per day? Is it once, twice, 10 times? Well, the answer is a bit similar to the first question I answered, really. It does depend a little bit on your audience and what you're trying to achieve. If you're in the middle of launching something new, you might want to talk about it a lot, so you might be posting more than once a day on one platform. So say Facebook, you might be posting 2 or 3 times on there, maybe more on Twitter. But if you're in a bit of downtime, you're not launching anything, you might only be doing once a day, or sometimes even less than that, perhaps 3 times a week. Because I think we are in a situation where less is sometimes more now. People have got a lot of content to get through, and sometimes you can overdo it with the times that you post on one particular place per day. But of course there are some facts, and I've got them for you here. Again, take these with a pinch of salt. It does depend on where you are and your audience. However, the current recommendations are, on Facebook, you should be posting 1 to 3 times per day. On Instagram, once or twice a day. On Pinterest, somewhere between 5 and 30 times per day. Now that sounds like a lot in numbers, but if you use Pinterest, you'll know how quick it is to do a post, because you tend to be sharing other people's stuff on there, and it's a really quick thing to do. So, 5 to 30 times a day could probably take you up to 10 minutes to do that, so it's not a massive job. And LinkedIn once or twice a day. Now that's the current recommendations for the most optimal amount of times that you should post. You shouldn't be posting any more than that. But as I said, it comes down to your audience, really. However, what I would say is if your content isn't good enough, it doesn't matter how many times a day you post, how many times a week you post. If people aren't engaging with it because it's not good content, they're not seeing that it's of any relevance to them, it's not making them feel something, either like they want to buy something or an emotion or happy or good about you, or that they know a bit about you. You've got to feel something to want to engage with the post. So if you're not making them feel that way, then the post is possibly not doing much good anyway. So there's very little point putting it on there. So it is quality over quantity, really. I would rather see my clients putting out quality posts less frequently than just getting as much out there as they can and not really bothering too much about how relevant it is or what quality it is. So please bear that in mind. Now, what I would say, if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed by all this, is to get going properly at this, it can be really good just to focus on one place. So say you're going to do Facebook, you're going to give it your all, you're going to post 2 or 3 times a day, it's going to be good quality stuff. That doesn't have to go on forever. It might just be that you really want to up your engagement level, up your visibility. And so going for it on one platform could be a really good thing to do. And then spread the load out a little bit and then move on to a different platform and start posting on there as well. Just choose the one that you think is going to have biggest effect, biggest success, and go for it. You know, if you can do all the platforms and that's what you want to do and your audience are on all these platforms, then great. But if that feels too much, start with one and then move on. Now, as a business owner, obviously we should be doing audits of what we're doing and whether they have been successful or not. And that's the same with social media. It can be really good to set yourself a target and see whether you can manage it. So, for instance, you might think to yourself, I need to get another 100 likes on my page on Facebook this month. And then you post with that in mind. That's your strategy. So what does that mean for your content? What sort of content do you need to be providing and producing to get people to press that like button? And then at the end of the month, you can look at that. Did I get an extra 100 likes? And if you didn't, then you need to relook at your strategy. What was it about your strategy that didn't get you that result that you needed? Was it because you had a blip in the middle and you forgot to post a few days in a row, or you went offline and just didn't bother showing up, or was it that your content wasn't good enough? Just have a look, and also have a look at what posts did get you the best engagement and do more of that. Inside of Facebook and all the platforms, there are lots of tools to help you measure all this stuff. You just need to play around with it, see where the insight buttons are so you can press on that and it will show you how many people engaged with particular posts, and then you might see a pattern or a trend emerging of which ones are doing best for you, and that's what you should be doing more of. Going right back to the beginning, you shouldn't be selling every day and every time you post. Give people some really juicy stuff that they're enjoying, that's valuable, that's educating them and inspiring them, and then sell something. Then you've earned the right to do that. So thanks for listening, guys. I hope you found that useful. Any questions, please put them in the comments below and I will get back to you, I promise. And I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.